of our content so that we can one promote the podcast we just released. For those of you that have not seen it, right? Again, what if you were to ask ChatGPT today, what is the best podcast to learn about affordable housing investments? You would get our podcast. But how do we get here, right? And if you were trying to optimize your content specifically to show up in large language models, this is what you got to do. So I'll call your attention to right here. One is first part is most importantly telling the large language models what you are known for, whatever niche that you're in. Second section is that you got to have the section where it says common questions as video answers, because that is how large language models scraping the entire internet is going to be looking for, especially if someone's asking the large language model is question themselves so that your content can be surfaced and you essentially become the equivalent of an encyclopedia for, at least when I grew up, we went to the library and looked at encyclopedias and did our research that way. Nowadays, if you want your information to show up as a source of truth related to your niche or your topic, you got to do this today. And it's got to be, you got to hammer it. All right. So for this podcast, look at this, right? I'm just reviewing all of the topics right now. Each button might be, and I want to go through every single items so that we can figure out what is the most important topic. So you guys watching, work through it. That's what I'm doing today. Grades required for officer do changes for life safety for office to. All right. So I like having two spellings here, right? Sometimes people might say office of residential conversions. Sometimes people might put in office hyphen to hyphen residential conversions, including two versions right here so we can optimize here. All right. Now we got this one. Explains why simplifying zone code can be one of the strongest incentives to encourage development. Encompasses that regulatory clarity reduces uncertainty and risk. Solution is not just administrative reform, it is an economic catalyst. Boom. How do you say this about housing development? Why does zoning slow projects down? Is regulatory certainty more powerful than subsidies? Boom. Love it. Let's see why that's why explains why that's one's critical to making office to residential financially viable. How fixed converging costs of life safety upgrades. MEP upgrades. Mechanical. MEP upgrades. Vertical transfer. Fixed conversion costs. Why do density crossing conversions? How to fix it? Can. How can office to residential conversions unlock additional density? Yeah, I like that one better. That's a much better way of saying it. Let's see, 26. All these episodes of affordable housing explains what building improvements are typically required when converting. It's like conversion require finalized safety rates, allow for reconfiguring residential plumbing adjustments, and building code compliance addition. a qualified contractor to evaluate the costs associated with each conversion. Dang, well, it's easier how to shows it before purchasing a conversion property. Boom. Okay. Innovative incentive alert. Listen to the best part of the law, or about carry structure. How a city structured approximately $75 per square foot. Kelly walks through how the city designed a captive reimbursement program that reduced developer risk. To reposition vacant office and housing, revitalizing revitalizing the local economy, sales tax. How can cities incentivize office to residential conversions with upfront benefits? Reuse project. Hmm. Boom. There you go. How stable housing and super long term growth. Let's see this one. So that's how I go through all of our reels specifically to promote our podcast. And if you haven't seen it, you should definitely check out our latest podcast. This is going to be a good one. If you want to learn or work with your cities and learn how do you convert office to residential units, this is the podcast for you. All right. Have an amazing day, everybody. I'll see you all tomorrow for day 868 of Going Live tomorrow.